Hi, this is the Business Guy. So how do you name your business? What are some business name ideas? Keep watching and I'm going to give you a free business name generator you can use to name your business quickly and easily. Then watch to the end because I'm going to give you some essential rules to follow and huge dangers to avoid to keep you from getting sued for millions of dollars. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We have helped our clients name thousands of businesses because we've been filing corporations and LLCs for 31 years. Now, some people can come up with a name right off the top of their heads. Others want a head scratch. I don't know, I have to talk with such and such first. So I'm going to show you a surefire method to choose a name quickly and easily. And you can also quickly and easily hit the like button below so YouTube promotes this video, and I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button and notification bell below so that when more videos come out like this one, you'll be up to date right away. Now, there are two categories of business names that come to mind. One is where the name really doesn't matter much, like using an LLC to own rental property. And the other is where the name really does matter, like owning a restaurant, healthcare company, personal training company, web design, auto repair, pet service, etc. The people who call us the most to order companies are real estate investors. They set up multiple companies for multiple properties, so we'll cover that in this video as well. Now, we talked to most of our business owners and real estate investor clients about putting each business location or each property into a separate LLC so that a lawsuit on one business or property doesn't create a domino effect that takes all of the rest of their businesses or properties. In the case of real estate, we simply have them name the LLC as the address of the property. 123 Main Street LLC, for example. And on that note, I highly recommend you set up a corporation or LLC to own your business. The biggest wealth killer is lawsuits. You don't want your business life to ruin your personal life. So protect yourself. For most people, I recommend an LLC because of the simplicity and superior lawsuit protection. So go ahead and call us if you have questions about setting up a company. In fact, we had this one guy who was setting up multiple LLCs for his rental properties, and he head scratched and worried and pondered. And this went on for a couple of months. Then finally, one day he was driving, glanced at his cell phone for just a moment, and then rear-ended somebody's car. I mean, he just smashed into the back of the guy on the highway. That car hit another, which hit another. I think there were 7 cars altogether. He was sued for way more than his insurance could cover. So the guy went for months without putting his properties into the LLCs because of the names. The guy was at fault in the car wreck, and he was a wealthy real estate investor. So though there were multiple people in the car wreck, he was the one with a $110,000 BMW 750 with all the options, as well as $5.7 million in real estate that he held in his own name. So guess who everybody sued? Right, the rich guy. Then all of a sudden he was panicked about getting the LLCs formed. Now, there were some other strategies that we could employ to protect the properties, but they would have to defend these strategies in court rather than having the protection automatically because they should have been in LLCs. I mean, the guy could have protected everything, but he dilly-dallied too long on picking the company names. Now, for most businesses and real estate holdings, for privacy and protection, we don't recommend people use their names in the name of the business. Maybe if it's a construction business or a business where using your name makes sense, then okay. Anderson Construction might be a perfectly fine name if you're Bob Anderson. But for holding real estate or trying to keep your ownership private, don't use your name on the company. So don't name it Bob Anderson LLC if you're using it to own real estate. You want more privacy than that, so don't paint a target on your back. When you use a corporation or LLC for protective purposes, to hold your stock market portfolio or hold business equipment, real estate, as we've said, don't use your name. See our video called Anonymous LLC, and I think you'll really like some of the ideas on owning your LLC privately. Another mistake people make is using one-word names, common names, and we go look up the name and it's not available. This is especially true in larger states such as California, Texas, Florida, and New York, as well as popular states for LLCs such as Nevada, Delaware, and Wyoming. So common words such as Cornerstone LLC, or in Texas, just about anything with the word Lone Star is taken. Lone Star Enterprises LLC, you can just forget about it in Texas and California. Golden State, with just about any other common word like Enterprises or Ventures, is gone. Or initials are often taken. ABC Enterprises, J&J Holdings, for example. So we recommend for name availability purposes having more than one word unless the word is a totally made up word such as polywave or Vinstar or CapMax. So here we go. Here's a surefire way to come up with a name for your company. Now see down below in the description where, if I remember, I'll write all of these words and you can see them and you can use them to pick a name for your LLC. And since we're in the business of setting up LLCs and corporations, our company was established in 1906 and we have attorneys on staff. So if you want your corporation or LLC set up right so you're more likely for it to protect you from lawsuits when you need it, feel free to call us and have us set up the corporation or LLC the right way with your articles, a proper operating agreement, membership certificates, and everything you need. See our number and website below. So with this business name generator, you'll pick a first word such as Metro, then you'll choose a name from the second column such as Endeavors, and then you'll pick your company identifier that notifies the world that it's an LLC and not another type of business entity. So you end up with the name Metro Endeavors LLC or Capstone Enterprises, Northern Ventures, etc. So you can feel free to use this list and it will give you at least 626 different name choices, or you can choose your own first word and then add one of our second words, and the name choices are practically infinite. So that should help you pick a name and pick one rapidly. I tried to do one of these computer online generators and they came up with just the silliest names. I really like our manual list a lot better than the computer generated ones. Now here are some very important things to consider. First, once you settle on a name, do a trademark search. Otherwise, you use somebody's trademark and they can sue your socks off. To do a trademark search, this is what you do. You search for the word trademark search in Google, then you click on Search Trademark Database USPTO, that's United States Patent and Trademark Office. Then you click on this link here, Trademark Electronic Search System or TESS. I like to do the basic word search. I like to click Live because those are the ones that are currently active. And then we do a name search here. Let's go ahead and type in the word Google. And you see the ones with a registration number. These are currently active trademarks. So let's do a totally made up word like Wondermark, and we do a search for that. You can see somebody has the word Wondermark. I just totally made that one up right here on the spot, but you can see somebody already has it. So you wouldn't want to use that name, especially in this trade class in which they're doing business. Let's try another made up word, Jack Techno, and I click search, and you can see that nobody has a trademark with that particular name. So the bottom line is to check with a trademark attorney to be sure. Now, many people are not too creative when they come up with a word or phrase they like, such as Blue Sky. So it's Blue Sky Enterprises LLC, and then they call us down the line and they want Blue Sky Enterprises 2, Blue Sky Enterprises 3, etc. So they have us set up multiple LLCs with Blue Sky Enterprises in the name. An exception might be if it's a restaurant chain, hair salon, etc., where the brand name is important. But for most people, that would be an exception. But really think about it. If you want anonymity, why flag the world that all of these companies are linked to each other? Otherwise, you're giving a pretty good clue that all of these companies are owned by the same person. Hey, there's not a whole lot of thought that has to go into that to figure it out. Anybody would draw that conclusion, wouldn't you? So for anonymity, you want to refrain from using a name pattern where people could easily recognize the businesses are tied to each other. Like my friend who insisted on using his last name in every company. The building inspector found some problems with one building, then all of a sudden that same inspector is slapping all kinds of violation orders on all of his other properties. But it's more than that. You're talking with your bookkeeper or CPA, they say Blue Sky. Well, which Blue Sky? Blue Sky 1, Blue Sky 4, which one? So when talking to other people, having names that are too similar to each other will confuse people as to which one you're referring to. And not only will it confuse them, but it'll confuse you too. I'm talking from experience. I've done it and I'll never do it again because all the confusion it created. So in naming your business, use distinct and different names. Again, if an LLC owns real estate, I suggest naming the company the street address of the property. Now, when it comes to real estate, what we do for most clients is first we set up a land trust that owns the property, and that gives an additional layer of privacy and ownership. And it also makes the property easy to sell without changing the title because you can just assign the beneficial interest to your new buyer without paying a bucket of blood fee to the county when you sell a property. And this is the same for selling a business. If you put the business in a trust that's owned by an LLC, so it's easy just to keep the business in a trust and just assign the beneficial interest from your LLC to the next person's LLC. The 123 Main Street Trust, for example, for real estate. Then we have an LLC own the trust. Technically speaking, we're making the LLC the beneficiary of the trust. 123 Main Street LLC, for example. So the land trust provides privacy of ownership and ease of transferability. So this can save you a ton of money when the property or business transfer happens. It can save you a lot of money on the fees. Then the LLC provides the lawsuit protection and asset protection. If you already own a property or a business, it's quite easy. You just call us and have us name the LLC, the address of the property, or whatever business name you want. If you're closing on a new property property or a business, you either simply buy it. Many lenders want you to close in your own name, and then right after closing, you put the property or business into the trust. 456 Maple Street Trust, and then you can make the beneficiary to that land trust an LLC, 456 Maple Street LLC. So why not just put it straight into the LLC? If you own the property or business in your own name, the bank could invoke the due on sale clause if you do so. By putting the property into a trust or the business into a trust, when you change the beneficiary of the trust, the Garn-St. Germain Depository Institution Act doesn't let the lender call the loan due when it's 1 to 4 dwelling units. So though I know this is correct, covering my butt, I have to say ask a lawyer first. Now we do have lawyers on staff at our company who you can call and speak to right now if it's during business hours, or fill out a free consultation form on our website to set up a land trust, LLC, corporation for your business or your property. Now, if you buy businesses or properties in different states, I would also set up an LLC in each state where you own a business, and that keeps them legally separated as well. So using different names for each business you own or each property not only keeps them separate for legal purposes, but also makes it a lot easier when communicating with your CPA, contractors, tenants, etc. Then you have one central LLC that doesn't own any business or any property that collects all the income or rents from all your properties. That way you keep things simple. Okay, so what if you want to own a business, but you don't know where yet? Maybe you know the state, but you don't have the business address yet because you haven't gotten an offer accepted on a business or you haven't started the business. So you want a couple of LLCs sitting around that you can use to start a business when an idea pops into your head. So you have legal protection right off the bat. Or if you're buying one as soon as the business closes, you can put it right into the company you had waiting in the wings. Now, some states take a while to form corporations and LLCs, like California, maybe a few weeks. Rush filings may be a bit faster, but in Wyoming, we can set up an LLC for you in a few minutes. But I wouldn't make an offer in an LLC that has already named the address of the property or already named the business name, because it would certainly look suspicious to a seller. Plus, it shows you've already made too much of a commitment by forming the company with the address or business name in that name. So it might hurt your negotiation power because they might think you're too committed to walk away. So don't name the LLC the address of the property or the business name yet before the seller actually accepts your offer. Let's say you might want to start a business in Miami, but you don't know what kind yet, so you might call it Prime Enterprises of South Miami LLC. Now, it's easy to call us and have us change the name of your LLC later so you can use a generic name until you actually get the business started. We can also get an employer identification number for you so you can open up a bank account. Once you know the business is closing, you're starting the business, we can easily amend the name to whatever you want to call it. Even if you change the name of the company, you can still keep the EIN. Just notify the IRS of the name change on your next tax filing. Just like if you change your own name, like when my wife and I got married, she took my last name, but she kept her original Social Security number because she's still the same person, just with a different name. So change the company name and the EIN stays the same because it's still the same company, it just has a different name. So that way you can get your company and bank account all set up, your wheels on the ground, and you're ready to rumble as soon as you put the property in the company or buy the business or start the business. And if it's real estate, that's the beauty of using a land trust to own the property. That's because you don't have to change the title of the property when you change the name of the LLC. That's because the LLC doesn't own the property. The land trust / trustee owns the property, and the LLC is simply the beneficiary of the land trust, and the beneficiaries of land trust are generally not in the public records. And if you don't want to have to notify the IRS and the bank of the name change, that's fine too. We can simply apply for the EIN after changing the LLC name so you can open the bank account in that name. So here are a few other rules to keep in mind. First, the name of your company needs to be available. Even if it's not exactly the same name, if the state feels it could be confused with another company name, they'll want you to come up with something more definitive. If there's already a Jackson Industry and you choose Jackson Industries, for example, the examiner might reject it. So it has to be as unique as possible, and then there are certain restricted words that require a license, such as bank or insurance or university or CPA. Other than that, naming your company is pretty flexible. You get to choose. So I hope this helps. Feel free to use our company name generator below. I would avoid using your name in most cases, and to increase the odds of the name being available, use more than one word unless it's a totally made-up word like Microsoft, Google, Walmart, Costco, Exxon. These are all just made-up words out of the clear blue sky that somebody made, and you can do the same. So I hope this gives you some value and insight and direction in naming your company. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video with others. See you next time. This is The Business Guy.